Long ago, in a peaceful kingdom surrounded by forests and villages, there lived a king who was respected by everyone. He had wealth, power, and a beautiful palace. Yet something troubled his heart. Every night, while others slept, the king sat alone wondering about life. He felt that despite all his success, he was missing an important truth. One day, he came up with 3 questions. What is the most important time? Who is the most important person? And what is the most important thing to do? He believed that if he found these answers, he would never make a wrong decision again. The king invited scholars, ministers, warriors, and wise men from across the kingdom. He promised a great reward to anyone who could answer his questions. Many people came. Some said planning for the future was most important. Others said learning from the past was the key. But every answer was different. The king remained unsatisfied. Then he heard about an old hermit who lived deep in the forest. People said the hermit possessed wisdom greater than any scholar. The king decided to visit him. Leaving behind his royal clothes, the king dressed like an ordinary traveler and began his journey. The road led through rivers, fields, and small villages. After a long journey, he finally reached a quiet forest. Birds sang among the trees, and the air felt calm and peaceful. Deep inside the jungle stood a tiny hut. Outside the hut, an old hermit was digging the soil in his garden. His hands trembled with age, yet he continued working. The king approached respectfully. The king asked his 3 questions, but the hermit said nothing. He simply continued digging. Seeing how exhausted the old man was, the king felt compassion. He took the shovel and began digging the garden himself. Hours passed. The sun slowly moved across the sky. The king kept working while the hermit quietly watched. Still, no answers came. As evening approached, a sudden cry echoed through the forest. A wounded man stumbled from the trees. Blood covered his clothes. Before anyone could react, he collapsed to the ground. The king rushed to help. He washed the man's wounds with water and wrapped them with bandages. Again and again, he stopped the bleeding. Night fell over the forest. The king stayed beside the injured stranger, caring for him until he finally fell asleep. The next morning, the wounded man opened his eyes. Tears filled them. He looked at the king and began to speak. The man confessed something shocking. He had been the king's enemy. He had hidden in the forest planning to kill him. But on the way, the king's guards had attacked him, leaving him wounded. The man lowered his head. "You saved my life," he said. "I came with hatred, but now I leave with gratitude." At that moment, an enemy became a friend. The king turned once more to the hermit. "Please," he said, "tell me the answers to my questions." The old hermit smiled gently. The hermit said, "The most important time is now, because it is the only moment you truly have. The most important person is the one standing before you, because you never know who will matter most. And the most important thing to do is to do good for that person." The king finally understood. The past cannot be changed. The future cannot be controlled. But this moment can change everything. And sometimes the greatest wisdom is simply being present and helping others,